Dillian the Body Snatcher White here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Okay, so quite a few of you have sent me the link for a Bob Arum interview with Talk Sport, in particular where Bob Arum is speaking about Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. In fact, we'll go straight into Bob Arum's statement on Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. And of course, we'll have a talk about his latest revelation, if we can call it that. Anyways, what Bob Arum had to say to Talk Sport. If we can't come to a deal with Dillian Whyte, then we'll do a fight for the Ring Magazine belt and the lineal title, and we'll just pick another opponent. Andy Ruiz Jr. is a possibility, Joseph Parker, and a couple of other names. Bob Arum's statement. Now, firstly, we can rule out Joseph Parker. We know that fight will never, ever happen. Joseph Parker versus Tyson Fury ain't ever going to happen for obvious reasons. They both train with each other. Andy Lee, of course, is the head trainer for Joseph Parker. Andy Lee is, I believe, his cousin of Tyson Fury. Either way, they have a very, very close bond, a very good relationship. So that fight will never, ever happen. Not quite sure why Bob Arum said that name myself. But Andy Ruiz Jr., sure, that's a credible opponent, and I'm sure they can come up with a couple of others. Now, what Bob Arum is getting at, and I'm sure most of you have already clicked it by now, is that he ain't talking about a purse bid. He ain't talking about anything like that. He's talking about within the next 2.5 weeks, if they can't come to a deal with Dillian Whyte before it goes to a purse bid, then Tyson Fury may well just vacate the WBC belt and do his own thing. Obvious reasons, if you are Ring Magazine champion and lineal, for those of you who put your stock into lineal, then you don't pay sanction fees. You fight Dillian Whyte as a WBC mandatory and, of course, the WBC interim champion. Currently, by the WBC rules, Dillian Whyte is entitled to 45%. Of course, it's up to the WBC's discretion. They can change it as and when they want, but currently that is in their rules, 45%. Does Tyson Fury want to hand over 45% to Dillian Whyte? No. So what Bob Arum is getting at here is that either Dillian Whyte accepts the deal or you're not going to fight Tyson Fury for the WBC belt. Now, is that a threat? In some ways, you could look at it that way, of course, because we know Dillian Whyte. Of course, I've interviewed him several times now, and of course, we have spoken about the Tyson Fury fight and that before. Previously, Deontay Wilder was champion. Dillian Whyte doesn't want to be just handed a belt. He wants to fight the champion and become champion that way. That's what Dillian Whyte wants. He doesn't want the belt via email, via post, however. Okay, he wants, currently, the WBC Heavyweight World Champion, Tyson Fury, and if he's going to become WBC champion himself, he wants to defeat the champion. But that's the threat from Bob Arum. But is it a threat? In some ways, you could say yes, for obvious reasons I've just said there, but in other ways, no. It's a guarantee Dillian Whyte will be in the history books of becoming WBC World Heavyweight Champion. Whether he fought for the belt or if he didn't. Some people will call him a paper champion. However, it doesn't really matter. Lennox Lewis won that belt via that way when Riddick Bowe refused to fight him. And quite a few others. So it doesn't really matter too much. But of course, Dillian Whyte will miss out on a huge payday. What other paydays are there out there that will probably get close to a Tyson Fury fight? Or outside of maybe an Anthony Joshua one and that, of course. Would Tyson Fury vacate that belt rather than fight Dillian Whyte based on boxing politics, i.e. money? I mean, Tyson has often said he doesn't care about money, he's a Spartan. I mean, we know that's not true. That's why he walks around in his Versace and drives his Ferraris and Lamborghinis and all that kind of stuff. Of course, he likes money. He's a prize fighter. Ultimately, that's what it is, as much as he says that it isn't. But would he put any stock into just leaving the WBC, just dropping the belt, doing a Riddick Bowe and going his own route? Probably not. Probably not, to be fair. Tyson Fury has always struck me as the kind of person who will just do what he wants when he wants. And he won't be forced into anything. Unless, of course, it's Deontay Wilder. Then, of course, he can be forced to jump through hoops. But when it comes to anybody else, he ain't going to do it. When it comes to the Vladimir Klitschko rematch, I ain't doing it. When it comes to being ordered to fight Dillian Whyte for the WBC Diamond belt that he asked for, I ain't doing it. When he was ordered to fight David Price back in the day, I ain't doing it. Fury will do what he wants when he wants to. If he doesn't want to do something, if he doesn't agree with something, he will just walk away. So him just defending the Ring Magazine, of course, that's a belt everybody wants. But then what he's really done is put himself out of the equation for undisputed. You could say Fury, well, he's won every belt that there possibly is, he's undisputed. Wrong. I understand what your point is. Of course, he's won every belt, but he hasn't held them all at the same time. That's what it takes to be undisputed. To be officially recognised as undisputed, you need to hold all 4 of the major sanctioning body titles: the WBC, WBA, IBF and WBO. Personally, I think the Ring magazine should be part of that, but officially it's not, for whatever reason it may be. Will Tyson Fury walk away? I hope not. I really hope not. I want to see Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. Most of you do as well. That's a mega fight. That's the kind of fight that would do fantastically well at the box office, do great ticket numbers. Would it do great outside the UK? I don't know. To be honest with you, I think a lot of people would look at this fight with a lot of intrigue. That's for sure. But I believe that this is the kind of fight that British boxing fans would love to see, especially heavyweight boxing fans. Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. 2 fighters at the top of their game. Doesn't matter who you pick to win, whether you think Tyson Fury wins easily, no problems, whether you think Dillian Whyte might catch him with that left hook or the right uppercut or a body shot, however it may be. That's what people want to see. People want to see the build-up to this fight. People want to see the fight itself. Don't want to see Tyson Fury walking away. If Tyson Fury walks away, would it be seen as a duck? Well, yeah. Because ultimately, he's a champion. Champions have mandatory obligations. All other champions have to fight their mandatories. Why should he be an exception? That's what it is to be a champion. You fight people that maybe you don't want to fight. You have to give up purse splits that maybe you don't want to give up purse splits. Some champions have had to give up their A side and become the B side because of a certain situation. It's what champions do. Tyson Fury should not be exempt from any of that. No champion should. If he wants to be seen as the best of this era, you need to prove it. You need Dillian Whyte on your resume. You need an Anthony Joshua on your resume, a Usyk and whoever else may be around. You need to clean up this particular era. You don't get it by, oh, well, I think Tyson Fury and I believe Tyson Fury beats A, B and C. No, you need to actually see it. And that's always been my stance on it. It is for a lot of you as well. Fighters don't get credit for being better than somebody else without proving it. You can come up with whatever excuses you like. Dillian Whyte lost to Joshua. Dillian Whyte lost to Alexander Povetkin. He avenged the Alexander Povetkin fight as well. Of course. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Povetkin and Anthony Joshua are 2 fighters that Fury hasn't fought himself. As much as you may favour him, it doesn't matter. You don't get credit for, well, maybe we think, and maybe he's probably the favourite, or he is the champion. No, you don't get credit for that. You need to actually do it. So if he walks away, is it a duck? Yeah, it's a duck. Is 45% a lot to give up? Yes, it is. Of course it is. Listen, go out there, fight Dillian Whyte. If you beat Dillian Whyte, you can then move into an undisputed fight. Just defending the Ring magazine and Lineal, again, for those who put stock into Lineal, not many people do. I think a lot of people will only give credence to a Lineal champion for the undisputed champion. Because a lot of people feel that Lennox Lewis is still the last lineal heavyweight world champion. Vladimir Klitschko was just awarded that title. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see what Tyson Fury does. Is Bob Arum just blowing smoke? Maybe. Will Tyson Fury vacate the belt? Wouldn't surprise me. But let's hope not. Let's hope we see Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. I think boxing fans, us British boxing fans, of course, deserve this kind of fight. It's a fight that we would all look forward to, and hopefully Tyson Fury will give it to us. Hopefully Dillian Whyte will give it to us. And I believe they will. I will hold out hope that they both will. If not, then it go to a purse bid. If it does go to a purse bid, will Tyson Fury then pull out? Maybe, if his team don't win the purse bid. A drama and joys of boxing, huh? Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next.